I believe this is the first time that the team actually works with the X-OCN workflow. Which format, basically? Is it the XT, the ST, or the LT that you guys actually choose to work for these two projects?
So when we got the Sony Venice, we basically asked the Sony experts, what's your highest codec, right? What's your highest codec? So yeah, so we were told XOCN, XT is the highest. So we said, let's use that, you know, because at the end of the day, we want to try the highest level codec that Sony has to offer. So we went with XT for the SSO project. And for the 吉马乐团 project, we wanted to do the same, right? But halfway through the shoot, we realized we were running out of storage space on the cards. So we switched down to LT, which also gave a very robust codec as well, right? With the naked eye, you cannot tell the difference at all, right? So yeah, we were happy to use either one of that.
Right. As a colorist yourself, how did the XOCN work for you in terms of at on-site and also back in your studio, in terms of like compatibility, in terms of the degree of creative freedom, etc.?
For me personally, as an editor and a colorist, for coloring projects, I will use DaVinci Resolve. But for editing, I actually use Final Cut Pro X. So sadly, right now, XOCN raw footages cannot be used with Final Cut Pro X. But of course, I think there are some other software out there, they can use that. But it's not a big problem for me because once we do round tripping, and then after that, because it's also in 6K, the footage is big and file, but after doing the round tripping, the editing problem, there's no problem in the editing. There's no slowing down in my workflow. So that's one thing with the codec. But I do like coloring because the degree of creative freedom, as I spoken earlier, is very good. And the most important thing is that the image don't degrade, and I can do a lot of things with that. And in terms of color management wise, I think it's already very, very close to what we have seen. So it makes my workflow faster, so I could get the product out real quick because sometimes we really want to
have a faster turnover,
turnover, and then to let everyone see
when the client's chasing, you know, so, when can I see the draft? When can I see it? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So I think, yeah, this is basically my view. But on set and back in the studio, I feel that it's quite compatible, and I feel that it's quite robust in that sense. It doesn't give me much of a problem. In fact, I think it didn't slow me down at all. Yeah.
Okay. So what are your views in terms of like the image fidelity as well as the transfer speed?
One thing, there was a surprise that I actually gotten from when I was working with the codec is that because the quality is so high in that sense, the image fidelity, I had a pleasant surprise because when my DP on set, when we shot a particular image, we actually exposed the surrounding a little bit because we were focusing on the subject. But when we brought back to the studio and we were working on the footages, I realized that when I pull down the exposure and the light and of the background, we actually I could still see a lot of details that we did not see with our eyes on set or even in the monitoring process. I mean during on set. So. It was very good. I know that some raw footages can do that, but I did not expect that it can go to that much of a detail that even after we pull down the highlights and pull down the exposure, we could see the buildings and the rain behind the window, the raindrops, and yeah, so there was a lot of details. It gives a particular mood, and it goes to show that this particular range, the color range and the management and the fidelity is actually very, very high in terms of the quality. So that's really quite good, and I really, really enjoy working off this particular codec.
I think transfer speed was pretty much similar to, yeah.
Looking at, okay, it is the first time I work with a 6K footage.
How about the file size?
Yeah, the file size is actually, okay, how should I say this? I think comparatively, if it's a 6K footage, I think it's already fast.
And it's small, right?
And it's small because I don't feel that I have to spend extra hours or extra time to transfer the footages or the wrangle. And then the editing is fast. Coloring is fast too. So
it's a very smooth codec.
Yeah, it's quite a smooth codec to use. Yeah. At first, actually, of course, if you ask me, I did have my reservations like, oh, 6K, can my computer handle it? Oh, is my coloring going to be slow? And things like that. And then now that we have so much color, you know, is my machine going to be able to take it? I'm just working on on a regular iMac, you know, and then when I project into different monitors, it's going to be so slow. But eventually, I felt that it didn't actually slow me down at all, and I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised that I actually don't have to spend extra time to make sure that I comply with the codec. Yeah, in fact, now the codec works for me. Yeah.
Yeah, we're very glad to hear this from Coloris itself.
Yeah.
So going back to the overall outlook, would you like to share any other upcoming projects that the studio is working on currently?
So United Records, we have a couple of overseas projects that we are working on. We were supposed to do it this year, but because of COVID, we have to postpone it. But we are not stopping, right? We are not giving up on the projects, okay? We believe that when things get back to a new norm, okay, that we can go overseas again, that we can explore these projects again. So we have two projects, one in Indonesia. It's a very heartwarming brotherhood kind of story. Yeah, so that one's really meaningful. And then in Philippines, we have a psychological thriller that we are doing. And I think it's going to be quite exciting.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ari and Careen, for your time today.
Thank you, Christina.
We hope the sharing session today provided you with greater insights on how Venice exceed creators' requirements and also foster their creativity, allowing them to bring their vision to life. Sony will also be showcasing our cutting-edge technologies and advanced workflow solutions to power your creativity at this year's Broadcast Asia. Feel free to follow us on all our social media platforms during the show period or visit us at our virtual show booth. Thank you and have a good day ahead.
Sony.